and parents have learned a lot today. Isn't that right, Wakachi? Thank you for watching today, dear friends. Until next time, goodbye!
Join Script every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m. on the nation's favorite radio station, playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures $155 million Namibian loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Nishon Marenga. In the news tonight, Nampol's air wing to patrol the skies this festive season. Government fuels corruption in the country, says Kamwanya. Finnish Member of Parliament establishes Finnish-Namibian Friendship Group. Parents and society are the ones who fuel the silence on GBV. 55 Namibians take part in the largest Christian graduation. Grass fires destroys 230,000 hectares in 2 months. And Business on One, Comments Corner, Sport and the weather. The Namibian Police Force Air Wing Directorate said in support of crime prevention operations during this festive season, they will be conducting air patrols around the capital.
Air Wing Directorate Commander Commissioner Florentine Dumbu stated the air patrol will assist fellow law enforcement officers conducting patrols on the ground. Dumbu said they will also assist with car chases. The air patrol, Dumbu stated, will further offer support to stakeholders such as the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund and medical agencies in the form of medical evacuation.
The purpose of the aircraft is to give air support to the police officers on the ground, whether it's in the form of road patrols, because we have a bird eye view and we have constant communication with the police officers on the ground. It's much easier for us to see whether it's people or vehicles, or just to have an overview of the operation that is happening on the ground. And then as crew members, we usually have pilots and airborne law enforcement officers. The airborne law enforcement officer is the one who is in charge of the operation, and then the pilot is obviously in charge of the aircraft and the safety and basically the flying of it. The airborne law enforcement officer is the one who is in charge of the operation, so they are in constant contact with the ground crew, giving them directions or command and control, as we say it. So we mostly give air supports for any operation, be it traffic law enforcement, armed robberies, search and rescue, search and recoveries. We also do VIP transport flights as well. During the festive season, we actually have a number of crew, pilots, airborne law enforcement officers, and aircraft maintenance engineers that are on standby on a 24-hour basis, that are going to give air support to the ground crew, because this is also our busiest time of the year. We are going to give air support to stakeholders like the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund and other medical companies or agencies in the form of medical evacuations. So our helicopters do have capacity to transport stretchers and a few other medical equipment.
Dumbu further stated that the operation will rely on the daily calls, and they will be responding to incidents throughout the 14 regions that will be covered by the Windhoek and Oshakati bases.
Our operations rely on the call-outs that we get, whether it's from headquarters or from Commerce region or any other region throughout the country. So whatever the need is, we respond to that. Like I've mentioned before, it can be anything from traffic law enforcement, search and rescue, search and recovery. We also do car chases. We also look for suspects of armed robberies. We are also involved with air support for stock theft. So we are basically prepared for whatever situation where we are requested to give air support to.
This Christmas at Spar, we are all about giving you a reason to smile. That's why we have granted thousands of people their Christmas wishes to fill the season with smiles, making a difference to those who need it most. And we have amazing savings, like 2-liter liquid fruit for just $34.99 and Brooks Oro Squash, buy 2 for only $70. Merry Christmas smiles from all of us at Spar.
Political analyst Ndumba Kamwanya stated that the government, including head of states, sent mixed messages about corruption, making it a great concern. Kamwanya added that the appointments of corruption-tainted individuals at high-profile positions is a hindrance to the efforts of curbing corruption.
Yes, corruption is a problem in this country, and we are seeing our government really being a little bit wishy-washy in being clear in terms of how to fight it and why we should fight it. The problem is that we have a government, and including the president at some point, sending mixed messages on corruption. So, for example, if you appoint corruption-tainted individuals to a powerful body of the ruling party, what message are you sending? What message are you sending in terms of fighting corruption? If you are minimizing it and saying that corruption in Namibia is not systemic, what message are you sending? If you are traveling 6 months, 14 days outside of the country, what message are you sending? Corruption is a problem, and we should not treat it lightly. Even if it is the smallest case of corruption, we must have zero tolerance towards those kind of things. People that are tainted must not be rewarded with higher level positions, because what we are sending to a young person growing up or aspiring to be a civil servant is that it's okay. I can do this because the other person was rewarded for that.
Kamwanya said that there is a need to relook at policies and legal frameworks in order to ensure that they support political institutions in fighting corruption.
We don't know whether it is a lack of capacity, whether it's a lack of resources, whether there's some sort of individual sabotage within the legal structure to make sure that those cases do not see light in their court, but also it could be because of the nature of those cases.
Member of the Finnish Parliament, Via Valkonen, established a friendship group aimed at strengthening cooperation between the Finnish and Namibian parliaments. Valkonen, who is on a visit to Windhoek, told News on One that Finland and Namibia have a long-standing relationship dating as far as 1869. In 2019, the two countries celebrated 150 years of friendship.
Valkonen, who spent his childhood at Onipa in northern Namibia with his parents who were missionaries, said the two countries have a long-standing unique relationship. He explained that the friendship will foster productive relations on a political and cultural level.
So the group consists of Finnish members of parliament, and what we do is that we foster productive relations between the countries, firstly on a political level, but also cultural, economical, and all other aspects of the society. The purpose is to encourage and deepen the relations between the two nations and the two countries. I think most of the Finns have a very positive outview of Namibia. So if you look at Africa as a whole, and especially southern parts of Africa, Namibia is seen as a relatively stable, safe country which has strong democratic institutions. And I think many of the Finns have a special relationship with Namibia. And there's also been thousands of Finns who have visited or lived here because of our long relationships, either working or then just as tourists.
Val Conan added that future possibilities of cooperation between the two countries include political developmental issues such as efficient administration, biofuel production in Namibia, tourism, Finland's high technology in mining, and Namibia's natural resources.
I think Finland can learn from Namibia a certain outlook on the future. So you are a very young nation, and that I think here has brought out a future-orientedness. And then of course Finland is a very stable, established welfare society, and perhaps Namibia can see to some of our institutions regarding education or rule of law or working democracy or developed economy and try to learn from those, perhaps.
Remnants of Finnish missionaries are still visible at key sites in northern Namibia, in areas such as Omandongo, where the first Finnish missionaries settled in Namibia on the 9th of July 1870. The Finnish missionaries are renowned for introducing Christianity to Ondonga that later spread to the rest of Owamboland.
Parents and society at large play a role in advancing gender-based violence in homes as boys grow up seeing them commit these acts. This is because some parents and relatives cover or ignore cases of rape and domestic violence that happen within family setups. This was shared by Tangeni Muyoro, the founder of Blue Project, an organization that works with boys in Walvis Bay.
Muyoro was among speakers at Gender-Based Violence GBV awareness campaign aimed at addressing sexual abuse and gender-based violence held recently in Walvis Bay. The Healing Wounds Association, in partnership with its stakeholders, held the campaign under the theme Have We Speak, which brought together residents who shared their concerns and had conversations that brought to light the everyday aggression women are subjected to. According to Muyoro, taking advantage of women has become a norm because young boys are being conditioned and groomed in abusive structures.
To take advantage of the female becomes a norm. Femicide, rape, and domestic abuse is right in their eyes. The sad reality is that the groomers and conditioners are parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, breadwinners, prominent people, educated ones that look the other way and speak in hushed tones so that no one hears.
A 20-year-old was sexually molested by 3 family members. The first incident happened when she was 8-year-old. She narrated her rape experiences, stating that she became sexually active at a very young age and felt worthless after the first incident.
The first was my cousins at the age of 8, and that really affected me because I feel like I became more sexually active at a very young age after they have done that. I feel like they took my value away, and okay, they were given justice, but okay, let me say they were given justice. One is now currently out of jail, but I met him these days, just these days. I met him somewhere, and then he even had the guts to say, apparently he owes me a date, and which is even my cousin. Okay, the second, it's my cousin, got pregnant. He didn't get justice. I didn't get justice. He's still around. I got raped by my uncle. He's still around. I see him each and every single day.
The executive director of the Healing Wounds Association, Florence Chinsiku added that tangible solutions and standing together collectively are the only ways to fight sexual abuse and GBV crimes.
We need to come up with tangible solutions so that we can stand together as a collective, so that we can fight these things. The police is not our enemies. The church is not our enemies. The mayor is not our enemies. We need to come together.
The group handed over their concerns to Walvis Bay Mayor Trevino Forbes, who along with Erongo Regional Commander Commissioner Nicholas Kupembona and Navy Commander Paulus Amunkulu, who listened to their plea.
In late November 2022, 55 Namibian theology students graduated after completing a 9-month Bible course presented by a religious organization in South Korea. At the ceremony, over 106,000 students from 82 countries took part, making it the biggest single such occasion by a Christian institution.
The event by the Shincheonji Church took place in Daegu, South Korea at a packed stadium with 80,000 graduates in attendance. Students from 23 African countries also participated in the large-scale graduation ceremony, with 506 from South Africa and 55 from Namibia. Tinashe Masenda is among the Namibians who followed the event virtually. He described the experience.
I am very grateful to be able to study the Word of God. I am very excited to graduate together with 100,000 other Bible study students from around the world. There are many things in the Bible that I never understood. Through the theology course presented by Shincheonji, my eyes are opened to what God's will is and how we can become part of God's new eternal kingdom today.
The extensive global Bible course brought thousands of students together from different cultures, races, languages, and backgrounds.
Growing up in a big family, there weren't always enough seats at the table, so we started eating on the floor so that we could enjoy our food and cokes together. I kept that tradition in my own family to remind us that the most important part of any meal is being together.
Over the past 2 months, grass fires have rampaged in and around Windhoek, destroying over 230,000 hectares of land. The fires started in areas like Eros, Ludwigsdorf, Kleine Cooper and Farm Windhoek. This information was shared by the head of the Namibia Marshall Rangers Rescue Services and Firefighting Unit, Sean Nadir.
Naude told Agri on One that wildlife and livestock were lost in various spots between the Midgard area, stretching to the Karasberge between Hartap and Karas region, which is the hottest part of Namibia. Naude said it is fortunate that there were no people who lost their lives in the areas where grass fires started.
We've lost some livestock, we've lost some wildlife, and it greatly affects the ecosystem, and it greatly affects the wildlife. We lose a lot of life every year due to grass fires, and we ask people to take precautions when you are doing things like welding or working with grinders, or even that you don't throw cigarette butts out to the vehicles. This starts grass fires, especially in the dry season. It highly affects nature. We've had to do some rescues. We rescued some tortoises, some cattle, and this is a big problem when it comes to grass fires.
Naude advised that people with dry bushes near or on their residence should take the time to clear up these bushes. He added that communities need to work together to prevent these fires and save both lives and the environment.
Please make sure that you ensure you clean up from your yard about 3 to 5 meters away from your boundary walls. If you have loppers, make sure you water them down. And then, of course, if you're going to work with machinery like grinders and stuff like that, that you would make sure that you have wet blankets or towels and you clear up the area around. With the strong winds and the heat, it just makes it so much harder to fight fires. So your contribution by taking safety precautions is going to to make the difference whether your homes and your households will be affected. And we ask everybody to be vigilant and report any fires to their local authorities, the municipal fire departments.
Welcome to Business on One. The Namibia Film Commission said that filming in the country is a lucrative business, with the industry contributing over $60 million to the economy. This was shared by the chairperson of the Namibia Filmmakers Association and commissioner of the Namibia Film Commission Board, Kaylin Basson, who said Namibia is ranked among top locations for blockbuster movies.
Basson said although Namibia is favored in terms of movie locations, the country still needs to explore options of offering incentives to attract foreign direct investment. Basson made the remarks in an interview with News on One on Where to Film Next Namibia, a presentation the Namibia Film Commission made at Focus London, which is a platform that introduces directors, producers, location managers and financiers to key service companies with experience in location scouting and foreign production facilitation.
So if you look at that, this is huge amounts of money, and this is where the frustrating part comes in, because I think when people sometimes think of film, they think of all artsy fartsy people, you know, we make this passion project, but they forget that it's a lucrative business. And we bring in millions and millions of dollars annually that we contribute to the GDP of the country. And we do so through setting people up in accommodation, you know, transport, hospitality, catering, health and safety services, the flights, all of that.
Basson added that there has been interest shown to film in Namibia at the Focus London platform. However, Namibia is not offering any form of incentives to foreign filmmakers, which makes it difficult for the country to compete with other countries on the continent because it only has its diverse natural landscape to offer.
So when we showed up at Focus London, remember there was over 100 countries represented. So you walk in and you see Thailand Film Commission, 35% rebate, Bahamas, 20% rebate, you know, Poland, 40% rebate. What that means is, what centers, if me as a filmmaker wants to film in Poland, if I spend and meet certain requirements, then I get 40% of whatever money I spend there, I get back. So this attracts international people to invest. Unfortunately, in Namibia, we don't have that yet. Not even a percent or two, or any kind of incentives where we can offer foreign filmmakers and be like, come to Namibia, you spend X amount of money, but you get X back. Right now, all we can offer is our beautiful locations and our scenery, but it makes it difficult to compete with other countries in South Africa that might have similar landscapes to us.
Namibia gets 90 international productions filmed in the country per year, ranging from feature films, documentaries, photo shoots, television commercials, and reality television shows, amongst others.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front. And now, a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. Namibian police arrested 2 public members for damaging a police vehicle and interfering with their work while they were busy pursuing suspects who were in possession of drugs.
As a result, Commerce Police spokesperson Silas Shipandeni issued a stern warning to members of the public to refrain from obstructing the police to carry out their work as they risk being arrested. Morris said the same public members will call the police to come to their aid. Pedro advised the law enforcement traffic unit to refrain from parking in the middle of the road when attending to incidents. Sikongo said this behavior is uncalled for and must stop. Oshandi wants the police officers who brutalize civilians to be brought to book. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage in our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One. And now, a look at some sports news. All sport codes in the country were affected by COVID-19 but bounced back in 2022. Sport on One caught up with different sport journalists countrywide to reflect on sport developments during 2022.
Senior sports journalist from NBC in the Karas region in Keetmanshoop, Natangwe Jimmy, spoke via telephonic interview and shared his opinion on the year that was.
What a number of people have been doing is that they've been organizing small little tournaments, whether it was football tournaments, rugby tournaments. We also had the netball tournament also that was held during this past year, and especially in smaller villages or settlements like Chess, Beersheba, Bethany. Now, if you look at activities in the bigger towns like Keetmanshoop, Karasburg, Luderitz, and Oranjemund, we've also seen that a number of sporting activities were introduced during this year. We see also that a number of girls are also now taking part in mini cricket, whereas in the past, it was only some young boys that were taking part. We just hope that, those that are in the know and those that are for sports development ensure that, that we give more funding to sports development also.
Sport on One also spoke to a veteran sports journalist from the Namib Times, Rudy Bauer, who also doubles as a current affairs reporter based in Walvis Bay, who reviewed pinnacle moments for 2022.
Let's start with the Commonwealth speed rowing, beach rowing. Well, that was a very, very great event. There was about, including Namibia, 11 countries, 12 countries that participated. And, the Scottish showed that they are the best, and as they walk away with most of the medals. Our Namibian team, they didn't do bad.
Speaking by a telephonic interview, NBC Sports presenter Jessica Kaimu shared her experiences.
There's been a lot of sport tournaments. People have grown through that as well. I think a lot of people who didn't even understand much about football leading to where the World Cup took place now in this month. I think it grew, it built up momentum. And then this year we have our team, our hockey national team that's won. I just feel like this is our time as women to really just come up and actually start not looking to be equal, but to see ourselves for who we are.
Sport on One also spoke with veteran New Era sports journalist Hezron Kapanga based in Windhoek, who reviewed youth development and some sport codes in the country.
If we talk of youth development currently, football-wise, swimming, maybe Windhoek and Swakop, but not in the other region. Football-wise, currently it's just Windhoek. The development in the regions are not up to standard. So what we need to do is youth development. We need to pull our socks. Because one would say, Hezron, no, you're talking trash. Where we benchmark ourselves is the Olympics of SADC. That is the Region 5 Games. The Region 5 Games is where we need to go out there and show the SADC region that, yes, we are here, we are putting our hands up. Because this is the mini Olympics for us.
That's all the sports news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast.